just waiting for the summer, knowing there's nowhere to go. 'Cause I am happy on this island, wanna be my funland. I don't ever want to leave, I'm in a tropic club.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the NTR podcast. My name is Raven the Wraith, also known as Raven. I am one of the hosts, and here are the other two hosts.
Hello everyone, my name is Lord Monkey. I am, as usual, very wholesome and glad to be here.
And welcome everybody, I'm Heir of Karma, or Karma.
And today's episode, we're going to be talking about the video game Dragon Age Origins. I believe it came out in 2009. It is an action RPG, and it is a dark fantasy. If you have never played the game, we are going to be talking about spoilers, so you are warned ahead of time. Karma is the local Dragon Age Origins expert here. I have played the game like 75% of it, and Monkey has watched a video by Never Knows Best, Dragon Age, an entire series retrospective and analysis. I'll leave a link in the description. It's a very good video. I watched it a long time ago, the whole thing, but we just had Monkey watch the Dragon Age Origins part so he could come up with some questions to ask us about Dragon Age Origins. Do you guys have anything you would like to say before we go to the questions?
Oh, I'd like to say that, this is our first episode talking about the video game. So I'd like to think of this like a trial, see if people like it.
Yes.
Because we primarily talked about anime and VTubers before.
Right, we did one episode on VTubers, and then the rest of them have all been on anime, and what else? A Would You Rather episode.
And the nice community.
An exam.
Basically.
Yeah, a debate episode, which was mostly about anime, and then we did JoJo, and then we did Coco's graduation, Dr. Stone. Yeah, we've pretty much done a whole variety of things until now, but this is the first episode on a video game, and it's the only one we currently have planned.
There'll be more, I'm sure, in the future.
Yeah. So, really quick, for those of you who don't know Dragon Age Origins, like I said, it is a dark RPG, dark fantasy RPG. It primarily focuses on the Grey Wardens, or what is left of the Grey Wardens, and their battle to stop the Darkspawn's archdemon from destroying the world. You take control of a character who can either be a dwarf, an elf, or a human, on a variety of backgrounds, in either a rogue, a warrior, or a wizard. Wizards are basically treated like scary abominations in this game because they can easily be taken over by demons or turn into explosives, essentially. Rogues are just assholes, and warriors are big, tanky, dumb meatheads. in the game, you take control of your character. I forget what the default name is. Do you remember, Karma?
Wasn't it like
Well, there's
Duncan
not
or
actually.
something?
There's default names for each of the 6 different.
Origins?
There's so it depends on your origin. But most people would call you the Warden
Right.
or Grey Warden. So
to give you a very, very
Would be-
basic
so-
recap of the game, you start off as either your dwarf, your, you start off with your origin,
elf
Your-
or your
elf, dwarf, or human, or mage, because they have their own separate background, basically. And you either grow up in the wilds as an elf, you grow up as either a noble or a commoner dwarf, you grow up in the city as a slave elf, I believe, and you either grow up as a
city elf.
a
They're
city
not
elf.
Actually, technically slaves.
They're basically slaves, though. They're
Some
treated.
of them are slaves.
Yeah.
Some of them are slaves. Yes.
And then, I believe the humans, you either are a commoner or a noble.
No, there's only the human noble or human magi.
Right.
Origin.
And then the magi origin, which is any class except dwarf, because dwarves cannot be mages. Essentially,
They don't have an ounce of magic in their body.
Yeah, and they're naturally resistant
That-
to it as
so
well.
They can't. Correct.
But you start off in whatever background you choose, and something goes wrong, and you end up becoming a Grey Warden. Basically, a person who has an oath to protect the world from Darkspawn and also will die soon. Not sure how soon. It's not really super well known to the outside world that people will even die, but there actually is, I believe it's a 30-year life expectancy. Karma, do you remember how many years it is?
Yes, 30 years.
Yeah, you basically have to take a blood
You
oath.
can only actually get that information. It's actually not well known unless if you take certain dialogue paths with Alistair, one of the main companions. But he actually does tell you that you only have 30 years to live after completing the ritual.
Yes, so basically, outside of the Grey Wardens, this ritual isn't known, but you have a ritual where you put Darkspawn blood in your veins, and those of you who don't go crazy actually become resistant to the Darkspawn and can sense the Darkspawn. So you basically become a special superhuman just for fighting Darkspawn, but the drawback is you only have 30 years to live, and you're bound by a ton of rules and laws dedicated by the world. Along the way, you come across a lot of different characters and a lot of different morality choices. This game is heavily based.
6 distinct characters and 1 DLC character and 1 hidden party member.
Yes. And more importantly, there's quest lines. There's 3 major quest lines that start the game. I believe it's 3.
It was 4, I think, in the video. He said.
4? Okay, there's 4 major quest lines, and then you go on to a sort of... The way the game works is that you start off on your origin, and then you can choose one of 4 quests. You have to complete all 4 of those quests, but you can do so in any order you want, and then all of the routes continue back to the... What is it called, Karma? The inauguration or something?
The Landsmeet in the city of Denerim.
Landsmeet, that's what it was called. And then after that, I think there's only one other major quest line after the Landsmeet, which is dealing with the Archdemon. Along the way, though, there is a lot of side quests, and you can also revisit places, and there's tons of lore, and it's a very big RPG, especially for 2009. So that's the basic synopsis of the game.
It really was.
The great thing about
The
this
shortest amount
game...
of time it took me to complete it was 63 hours. So...
Yeah, and I just want to throw out there really
Well.
quick, this game is heavily dependent on your choices, and like I said, there's no morality system, but the game poses a lot of questions to you. Like, for example, a kid is taken over by a demon. You could do some really fucked up shit to basically either kill the kid or kill the demon. or you can rely on blood mages to perform a ritual to allow you to kill the demon. But you have to weigh all these choices, and there's all these things going on, and you can also just not kill the demon, and you could just make a pact with the demon, for example. And that's just one of the quest line's morality choices. I chose that one because kid's usually the most morality-based thing you can think of, but there's more.
Yeah, no, it's pretty dark. Your choices in that specific part is kill the kid's mother, or my personal favorite is go to the Circle of Magi, one of the other 4 places, and get the help from the mages there in order to not kill anybody and go into the Fade and deal with the demon.
Or there's also a person who is a blood mage who can perform that ritual himself, but blood magic is very frowned upon and very evil to the rest of the world. So to use the blood magic would be very taboo, but you wouldn't have to go to the Circle of Magi, which could potentially risk the demon, doing something while you're gone. So,
yes.
I think with that said, we can start off with the questions.
It's a very dark quest. In fact, the entire game is pretty dark.
Yeah, Monkey, would you play the game now that you have a synopsis of the game?
I mean, I like games with a fuck ton of lore, so yeah.
Yeah, okay. So, let's go into your first question, and I want to preface just everyone, Karma's going to be answering most of these questions. Apologize for his scuffed mic quality. I had to turn him down on Discord, so hopefully you don't hear the staticky background.
So, my first question is, why were the elves oppressed, and why were the dwarves driven out of their ancestral home? Because like it seems like a very fantastic world-ish type thing, but I feel like a game like that would have a specific reason.
I will say that there is a specific reason. Karma will tell us about it, but it is hidden through dialogue.
Yeah, it really is. So the answer for the dwarf part of the question, I personally don't know. The elf part, I do know, but it's very obscure and it's not well known. But the elves are basically suppressed because they helped fight, fight is not really the right word. They did the march with, Andraste, and after Andraste was murdered,
you should probably explain who
Andraste
is.
Enslaved.
Who's Andraste?
Andraste is a holy figure of the humans' religion called the Chantry, who's depicted as the Maker's wife, the creator of the world itself.
All right.
So the elves helped her in the march, and after she got murdered, the humans who she was marching against basically enslaved them all.
And to answer the question, why were the dwarves driven out of their ancestral homes? I have a guess, but I have no concrete evidence for this, so take everything I'm about to say with a grain of salt. And I'm not going to say much, but the way that the world works in Dragon Age Origins is that there's 2 layers to it. There's the overworld, which is filled with everything, but there is also the underworld, a gigantic system of caves, very similar to, if you're familiar with Dungeons and Dragons Underdark, it's very similar to that, where it's just pitch black caves filled with monsters. And if I had to take a guess, it would be because the dwarves were driven out by the monsters into a new location. Specifically the Darkspawn, because that is where the Darkspawn live when they are not invading the overworld.
Alright.
said, I don't, like I said, I didn't know personally, but I kind of had the same guess as Raven. So.
Are we moving on? Or...
Yeah, I think we can move on to the next question now, if that
Yeah.
sufficiently answers
Can
your
you-
question.
Can you develop on the dragons in the game? Can you like give me more info, because there weren't much in the video, besides for the fact that they can become our archdemon.
Dragons aren't really well known. In fact, in the entire Origins game, you only come across one real dragon that's not corrupted, and you know nothing about it.
Technically 2. Kind of. I say 2, but then put an asterisk.
Yes, very, because technically the second dragon isn't actually a dragon, it's actually a shapeshifter.
So it's not a dragon then.
Yeah, basically it's not a dragon, but you fight a dragon. For gameplay purposes, you fight a dragon.
Right, but other than that, it's a person just shapeshifted.
Alright.
So to answer your question, no, we cannot.
Alright, so that's a minus on the lore side of things.
Like I said, I don't know personally because it's not well established in Origins.
Yeah, there might be an answer in Origins if you read the books and read into the lore, but there's a lot of lore in the game, and you have to keep in mind this is only the first game, and there's 3 games total.
So it
For now,
gets
the
quite
fourth
lore
is in
intensive.
development.
Yes, it gets very lore intensive.
Yeah, just Monkey, to tell you the least, the codex, the main source of information of the games that's not told,
Looks very boring.
has over 300 entries in it.
And those entries
doing the-
are
looking
usually
for-
long.
Wow.
Yeah.
And they're usually pretty long. So I don't bother reading them personally because it would take, just reading them all would take forever.
That's fair.
So.
Okay, next, in the theme of like cheers in the game, what corrupts the Darkspawn? Because I know from the video that a Darkspawn comes from a living thing being corrupted, but like, where does that corruption come from? What causes it?
Can I tangent for just one moment?
Okay, this one.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah, go
so I don't know the origin of Darkspawn. That may be something Karma knows. But I can tell you how new Darkspawn are made. New Darkspawn are made by... What they do is they kidnap men and women from the overworld or from the dwarves' homes, and they bring them to their little caves, and they make them eat each other like cannibals. And then they repeatedly rape the women and feed the men to the women. Some kind of magic happens along with the corruption of the Darkspawn to create an abomination known as, I want to say, the Brood Mother, which turns into a gigantic... If you're familiar with the Binding of Isaac, it looks like It Lives. It's a giant, like, woman... It's like a woman's body.
Of demon.
Yeah, it's a giant, like, demon
Got 8
that is
nipples.
made of flesh, and it can't move or anything. It has, like, giant nipples, tentacles.
Isn't that what
8
we...
of them.
Isn't it showed in the video, Karma, you sent me?
It might be.
Yeah, it is. It is.
Yeah,
It's
I can see what
fucking
it is.
ugly, and
It's
it takes.
fucking
It takes. Yeah, it really is. It's disgusting looking. I'm
But-
glad I get to murder it.
And basically what happens, so the women are raped and turned into cannibals, and then eventually they turn into the Brood Mother. Once they're the Brood Mother, they basically just give birth to Darkspawn 24/7. And that's how Darkspawn are made. And to answer your question about the
original
origin...
Darkspawn, actually. I can answer that. So the origin of the Darkspawn is actually told by the Chantry yet again. That mages in particular are tried to infiltrate the Black City, or what was known at the time, the Golden City. They corrupted it with their magic and basically became, abominations. And then the Maker, who lived in the Golden City, cast them back to Earth, where they became the first Darkspawn.
So they're basically corrupted people.
But that's told by the Chantry.
So it's
Yes, they're
basically like
corrupted
it's
people.
basically religion mythology. So it's not as canon as like what Raven told us.
Yeah, what I'm telling you is shown in the
I
game.
mean, it is, but it's what I said is more known by more general people.
Yeah, I would say the average person doesn't even know that a brood mothers exist, by the way. Because you have to either be a dark warden, or a dark warden. You either have to be a gray warden, or a very, like, powerful dwarf to even know about brood mothers to begin with. Whereas the origin of the Darkspawn,
Yeah,
kind
it's
of is a
told by
mystery.
different sources.
Yeah, it's not 100% concrete. It's not shown to you. A lot of the things that happen before the game just are never shown to you and are only told to you. So it's very hard to say 100% what is and is not, like, canon.
All right.
At least until Dragon Age
That's
2
in
and Inquisition.
Dragon Age in general.
Yeah, I don't know much
Even
about
in
Dragon Age 2 or
No,
Inquisition,
it's
though. I don't know.
I mean, they're just the Dragon Age series in general doesn't have a canon timeline.
It doesn't, so they don't follow up.
Other
They
than
don't-
this happens and this happens and then this happens. Everything else is just unknown. There's,
You know,
I mean,
that-
obviously there's a most canon timeline, but the games, like I told you before we started, Monkey, the games, Origins itself only focuses, like the canon stuff in Origins is only one thing. The Blight happens, and then it stops. That's it.
So it's not like
That's all that's canon in the game.
So I got into
Everything
lore.
else that happens between those two things is completely your choice.
I got into lore from the Elder Scrolls game, and like in between Elder Scrolls the game, there's a fuck ton of lore that happens, and you can learn about it through books in the game that I always read. So it's not like that where like there's like time between the two games and there's lore that will be to fill that time.
No, what it will be is there will be lore between the games, but you'll only hear rumors and speculation from other people. You won't get a concrete answer.
So it's not.
Yeah.
It doesn't happen like through like books and stuff like that you can collect and find and read and to quest and.
Well, even then, let's say you have. Thank you for the follow. Let's say that you find two different books. The books can just contradict each other, though, because they're written by two different people of two different religions. So they will write down whatever they want you to believe. And you have to decide which one's true, or if either of them are true.
Who followed?
Master
Yes.
Philo.
You can,
Hey, thanks, dude.
you can check the activity feed.
So yeah, a lot of the lore in the game, anything that happens before Origins and in between the games, is very rumor-based.
Yeah.
Alright.
But there's a lot of lore, but like I said, you gotta take everything with a grain of salt.
To be sure that like
And
you're believing
basically-
the right thing.
I believe this or I believe that. That's really what you have
It's
to do.
very much
Do you
like the
believe
real
Chantry
world,
who
Monkey.
controls-
It's like victory is told by the winners, you know that saying? That's very true in this game.
Alright.
Yeah.
So it's basically
It's-
like
So, like the Chantry, do you believe what your tree tells you as factual, or do you take it as the dwarves or the elves would take, or the Dalish elves would take it, which is not factual but the human side of things? So, I mean, it's really just, who do you believe more?
That's fair. Like every single country is gonna have their own like side of the story, depending on like of what happened.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Interesting. That it is really much like the real world.
Exactly. The game is written very
Imagine
well.
the real world, but 100. Imagine the real world, but like
But it
a
sucks
thousand
ass.
times.
Yeah, but everything is terrible.
Yeah.
So the real world, but it sucks more than it already
All right,
does.
I believe that's the next. Yeah.
Yeah, we're on to question 4 now, I think.
Yeah. Next question.
Alright, so we know from the video that there were 5 blights, and the 5th blight is the one happening during Dragon Age Origin. But the video doesn't tell us about like previous blights. There were 4 other ones. Like, what happened during those blights? And like,
That's
maybe explain what a blight is also for the people that don't play Dragon Age.
okay. Yeah. So the blights are basically the Darkspawn find an old god and corrupt it, turning it into an archdemon. The archdemon then lead the Darkspawn against the humans or the mortal, or everybody else, in an attempt to destroy the world. That's what the blights are. There's not much known about the other blights because it's all shrouded in like mystery. Other than the fact that the Grey Wardens were there each time they came and dealt the killing blow to the archdemon.
Basically, one other thing that should be worth mentioned is that normally the dwarves, the elves, and the humans all fucking hate each other because they're all part of different societies with their own laws and rules and shit, and they're almost always in war. But when a blight happens, it is the Grey Warden's job to go to each of the leaders and say, hey, there's a fucking blight about to happen. So they all make truce so they can all get together. Basically like the Civil War in Skyrim.
Alright, that makes sense.
Yeah,
Also,
I mean, it's like I said, it's really not well known what happens between them, or like all that's known is that this happens and then this happens, and then the end of the blight.
you see, like, to me, that's a major plot hole. Because, like,
I feel like it's
really
explained
is.
somewhere in the lore, because again, there's a lot of it. I'll look up to see if I can find the answer to your question on Google.
I'm a fucking lore mole. Like, I played the Witcher games, and there's
It's
a ton of lore in it, and I read every single fucking ounce of lore I could find. Every time I find a new book, I read it. I read everything in the guides that when you go around, you collect information. I always read all of the information. I'm a lore sucker.
So,
yeah, Monkey, you'd like the Dragon Age series. It's got shit ton of lore.
I'll post a link to it because I'm not going to read this whole thing out. But if you want to take a quick look at it, it gives you an idea about how much lore there is known about the blights. There's about a paragraph for each blight until the 5th blight, which is Dragon Age Origins.
Yeah, like I said, I don't know much because I haven't, completely read the lore because it's just so much. So
It basically tells you who fought in the war, though, and who won the war, mostly.
yeah. Dragon Age in general, Peter, Plasma, is goddamn long for completionists.
Dragon Age Inquisition specifically
Dragon
is the
Age, like
longest, though. Which is why
It is
Dragon
the
Age
longest,
Inquisition
yes.
is
Like
also
I
the
said,
worst. That's
Dragon
not
Age
even a hot
Origins
take.
took me the shortest time, 63 hours, to complete. So
Let me see how many hours I have on Steam of Dragon Age Origins. Dragon Age 2, if you read all the codex entries, it's long. If you play all... Here's the thing.
yeah,
To start Dragon Age Origins, all you have to do is just play the game and make your choices. But once you get to Dragon Age 2 and Dragon Age 3, you have to take into consideration your previous save file and those choices, because that changes so much of the game.
it does. That's why there's a website called Dragon Age Keep where you can track your choices.
Which
choose
barely
which
works
one you
anymore.
picked.
It barely
Actually, no,
works.
it works fine. It works great.
Well, it may work on
No,
the
'cause you-
console, but on the PS4 on Dragon Age Inquisition, you're supposed to be able to just like go to the website and just like download your file or whatever. It doesn't connect to the website anymore.
Inquisition doesn't connect to the website anymore?
Yeah.
It did on console when I last played it.
So keep in mind, I have
downloaded
not.
my world state and then it just...
I don't know. It didn't work last time I tried. Dragon Age Origins Ultimate Edition, I have played 22.8 hours of on Steam, and I've played more on Origin. And I have not played Dragon Age 2 or Inquisition on Steam. I should.
Dragon Age 2 is considered the worst, though, so take that. So
I would say it's considered
I
the
wanna
worst,
play it.
but it also has the best ending, in my opinion.
But why is it considered the worst?
So,
Well,
to give
because
you a quick idea, in Dragon Age Origins, you can choose your origin, and in Dragon Age Inquisition, you can at least choose your race. In Dragon Age 2, you have to be a human.
You could only choose your you
Gender
can only
Well,
choose your class.
and
I'm
class.
gonna argue that
Gender,
that makes
that's it.
sense. Because
No.
Inquisition, it implies that like, like a part of the Inquisition, which usually like focuses on exterminating non-human and magic, right?
Inquisition is about basically stopping a pseudo-blight, and the Inquisition is the new version of the Grey Wardens, if I remember correctly.
That's a basic way of putting it, yeah.
But the reason why
Basically,
2...
a
Okay, so
political version
to
of
put it the
Grey Wardens.
simplest, the reason why 2 is bad is because you're playing a story, you are not creating the story, it feels like.
Oh, got it.
Yes,
So you're playing the story of Hawk,
that's a good way of putting it.
whereas the other games let you play the story of the main character, whereas you're just Hawk, this guy or girl in Dragon Age 2.
So it feels more like playing, let's say, through The Witcher than playing through a Dragon Age where...
Exactly. It doesn't feel like a Dragon Age game. It feels like just a generic RPG game in that sense.
Yeah, also the combat system, in my opinion, is worse
I think it's
from what
fine.
I've seen.
I think all three games have fine... Actually, I don't like Inquisition's combat, but I do like Origins and 2's combat.
I love Origins combat so much better than Inquisition's.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of Inquisition's combat. They really, like... I can't tell if they dumbed it down or they made it really complicated, because it feels like both at the same time, and it's weird.
Yeah.
Yeah, Peter...
Yeah, Peter, I feel the same. Like, I was watching the video and I was like, yeah, that kind of sounds like Witcher. Like, because in Witcher you can also make choices that will impact the game and the ending heavily,
Hey, Show.
and you don't know about it until the end, or until like a certain point in the story.
Oh yeah, for Origins, what's
Yeah.
great is like every quest though has different endings based on what you choose. It's like its own branching path in every quest, and everything adds up to the ending.
Hello, show.
Yeah, it really does. Each main quest has its branching paths, and it's awesome. You create the future stories, other than it being made for you.
Alright, I feel like we should really get to question 5 because it's already been almost 40 minutes.
Shit, yeah. Can you develop them the character of
Logain.
Logain?
So he's a traitorous piece of shit. He fucking murders. He gets people murdered because he wants to be king, and that's it. Like, he's a fucking shitbag. But Karma could describe it a bit better.
He wasn't always like that. Actually. Believe it or not, Raven. He was, in fact, at one point, I can't remember his title, but it was like, he was like commander of the army against the Orlesians, which is the other country of the game, another country. And he was like commander of the army and helped like in a major battle and earned a title for it. So he wasn't always such a piece of shit. But Origins comes around and he's like piece of shit. So
yeah, he
So
drove out the
it's
Orlesian
really-
Empire more than 30 years before the events of the Fifth Blight.
yep.
He was raised
So like I said, he wasn't always a piece of shit.
Logain was raised to the position of Tairn of Gwarin for his
Yeah,
service to
yeah.
King Merrick.
You're gonna have to explain what Terran of Gorn is.
I don't know either. Karma?
So a Terran is basically like a high-ranking noble.
Alright.
And what's Gwarin?
So think like a duke. I don't know. I don't know what that is. I'm assuming it's a city or.
Gwarin
place
is a major
Ferelden,
but
I
remote
do not
town
know.
on the southeast corner of Ferelden. So it's a major but remote town.
Yes. Yeah, like I said, it's. Yeah, like I said, it's.
What
I
is?
don't know myself because it's never, there, but it's
It's
to be commentary like someone important.
apparently, if you're into reading
So-
books, by the way, Monkey, there is Dragon Age books that go into the lore of this place.
Now you're really talking my language. I fucking love books. I have shelves and shelves of novels in my bedroom.
Yes, Dragon Age The Stolen Throne and Dragon Age The Calling are both prequels to Dragon Age Origins, and they are strictly books.
Fuck yeah.
I don't know anything about them except that apparently Gwarin is in both of them.
That's very interesting.
But
think from
yeah,
my
I
part.
mean, like I said, Logain wasn't always such a piece of shit. But like I said, Origin comes around, he's kind of like declined to become a piece of shit.
Yeah. So, what he ends up doing in the story is he basically ends up getting the king killed, as well as the Grey Warden
Grey
who's in
Wardens.
charge. And then he pins his treason on the Grey Wardens, and that's how you like start by getting to know Logain. That's like his major first thing he does.
Yeah. No, I don't. It's never explained why he became such a piece of shit.
Well, it's because he hated his son for some reason. It's never
So
really
he-
explained why he hated his son, except for that his son and him just had different ideologies.
Well, at least he's not a piece of shit for the sake of being a piece of shit. At
Yeah,
least that's not what it feels
Yeah, no,
like.
he's got reasons.
his reasons are very hard to understand. And by that, I mean they aren't explained in the game.
Yeah.
At least not as far as I'm
Well,
aware.
they kind of are, but like I said, I kind of know. He hates the Orlesians because they, treated the Fereldans like slaves for centuries. King Kalen, who died during the prologue of the game, wanted to become like friends with the Orlesians, and he didn't like that, so he hated Kaelin. And the first chance I believe the first chance he saw, he had to get Kaelin killed, other than by his own hands, or it could be traced back to him. He took it. That's what I believe happened. But like I said, it's not really told.
And I know he can become like a Grey Warden if you like choose your
Yes.
paths correctly. Does he make a good Grey Warden?
I don't know. I never chosen that path. I've always killed him.
I will say that if you do make him a Grey Warden, there is a conditional where he is actually in Dragon Age Inquisition, apparently. But he's not in Dragon Age 2 at all.
Really?
Yep.
I didn't know that. So
He's part of a
I don't know,
quest.
because I've always killed him because I don't like him. Huh.
Fair enough.
But yeah,
Alright.
I always have him killed because.
If that really is just the best choice. He's literally there just to be the evil guy. So, like, why would you not kill him, basically?
Yeah, like
Also, he makes you hate him throughout the entire game, so it's kind of like, why the fuck would I make this guy? Why would I let this guy live? He sent assassins after me. He pinned the King of the Death on me. The Death of the King on me. He's done that to me. He's done this to me.
And
Why
also,
would I
by
not
the
kill him?
laws of the land, he would be executed for those crimes. So,
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of just like, I do it because I just don't like him.
dude, my favorite
Yes,
character,
that is true, Plasma.
Guy and Lord Guy.
so.
Well, okay, but Peter, I also want to point out, depending on your actions, though, you can meet Alistar in Dragon Age 2. As well
Okay.
as someone else, I think. I'm not sure who, but there's at least one other companion you could meet. I know that.
Yeah, I know exactly who they are, but I won't say nothing.
That's
Because
fine.
it's kind of like a spoiler.
That's okay.
All right. So are we going to the next question?
Which also
Yeah.
yes, next question.
No, what were you about to say, Connor?
Oh, no, I mean, I was going to say it also heavily does what you choose in Origins at a certain point,
All
whether
right.
that person is that person or not. That's all I'm going to say.
Okay.
You decide the lives of a lot of people.
Can you develop on the Chantry, like their main religion? Like, I want to know a little bit more about it.
Okay, so the Chantry, like you said, it's the main religion of the humans, and most city elves are forced to follow it as well, because they're like, not real elves in the eyes of the humans. But
Like, because
the
they live in
Chantry kind of like controls a lot of the background. Like for instance, the Templars, the Chantry controls the Templars. They control the Circle of Magi. They, basically control a lot of the stuff in the background. So they're like a major power. So think about it like that.
And I have
I
the
mean, there's
answer to
not
the
really
next
much
question,
to
by
say
the way.
because. Oh, okay.
I have it ready. I looked it up on the wiki just to know the exact answer.
For what question?
For the next one. The origin of the Grey Wardens.
Oh, okay.
So I don't have to read it then.
Oh, well, I knew that.
Like, why? Like,
I mean, I knew that already. So.
When did they start? And like, well, I imagine they started with the first Blight, but like,
Yes.
They did.
At Wishap Fortress
So, Raven,
in the
did you wanna
desolate
answer this
Enderfells, a meeting transpired Soldiers of the Imperium, seasoned veterans who had been known nothing their entire lifetimes except war, came together. When they left Wisserhap, they had renounced their oaths to the Imperium, calling themselves the Grey Wardens. They swore that they would accept anyone, no matter their race or background, without distinction, if only deemed suitable to join the Order. So the reason that they came to be was basically a group of people saw that the first Blight was happening, and they were like, fuck our countries, fuck the war between races, this is a bigger threat. So we're going to create our own people to fight it. And that is exactly what happened.
How they became Grey Wardens is they drink the blood of the Darkspawn mixed with the blood of an archdemon, which is actually not told really in the story.
I'd imagine they didn't do that during the first Blight, though. They probably didn't have access to archdemon blood in the first Blight.
Well, that's clouded in mystery. All we know is that they did it somehow and were able to kill the archdemon.
So some fucking idiot went like, I'm gonna drink this, and then proceeded to drink the blood, and then discovered like, fuck yeah, I can sacrifice myself to kill the demon, the archdemon.
Something like that, yeah.
I would say not one idiot, but I would say a group of idiots, yes.
And also, I would like to point out that the first Blight...
when you drink it, so...
The first Blight took over 100 years, by the way.
It lasted over 100 years?
Yes.
Jesus fucking Christ.
The fifth Blight is actually the shortest in all known existence. Because it takes place in a period of under 1 year. Or 9 months. It's the shortest in all existence.
And the longest being the first one, right?
Probably, yeah.
I do not know, but I can tell you that the fifth Blight is indeed the shortest in all of existence known to man today.
Oh, I'm sorry. The first Blight began in 800 TE and lasted 192 years. That's how long it lasted, apparently.
182 years?
Yeah.
So consider that to 9 months.
That's a fucking while.
And
That's
every
long.
every 200 or 400 years, the next dragon or the next Blight would happen.
400.
It would be 400 years, okay.
400.
Well, no, wait, actually. 200 years until the fifth Blight, it looks like, on the wiki.
Really?
Yes, it looks like the fifth Blight took 400 instead of 200.
Does Blight have like a
shorter than that?
Okay, so there's something that wasn't explained really much about not about question 3, but I just want to say in Dragon Age Origins, not Dragon Age Origins, in Dragon Age Inquisition, we are actually told, or I should say shown, confirming one of the stories in Dragon Age Origins that confirms how the Darkspawn were made.
I didn't know that.
Yes. I'm not going to say how, because that would be massive spoilers, but I am familiar with...
no, I'll get to that point.
Something happened with a certain group of people, and that created the Darkspawn. But you don't learn that until Dragon Age Inquisition.
Though I believe I've already talked about it, like the group of mages.
Did you say their names?
All I said was group of mages, because that's all that I know.
Technically, there is a specific group of mages. A very specific group of mages that are very important to all of the stories. Except for Origins, I think.
You're serious, Rart. You're not kidding me, are you?
No. In Dragon Age 2 and Dragon Age Inquisition, there is a group of mages that are very important to the story, and it is shown that they are the result of the Darkspawn, and it's shown in the third game. Also, by the way, I want to point out in Inquisition, they also is time travel, so they could easily retcon a lot of shit.
But they didn't do
Okay,
it.
I didn't know
because,
that part.
Yeah, Dragon Age Inquisition isn't a great game in my opinion.
Okay, yeah, I didn't know about that part, Raven. But okay.
Either way,
Anyway, next question then.
are we on question
Question
8?
then.
Is the ritual to become a Grey Warden similar in some fashion to the Trial of Grasses from the Witcher from the Witcher games that it's used to turn a human into a Witcher? Or do I have to re-explain what the Trial of
like I-
Grasses is?
I'm gonna, from what you told me earlier, I'm gonna say no. But at the same time, it has some, but it's not taken from that.
No, I know it's not, but like it seems similar in some ways because like both like have a high chance of killing the person. Like I don't know what are the chances of surviving the drinking the Darkspawn blood, but like
Not very high.
the chances of surviving the Trial of Grasses are 4 out of 10 or 3 out of 10.
It is not said the exact odds of survival, but there is very little.
So most like child witchers die just from the mutation process. So, like, it
And the same
feels
is
similar,
also for
no.
Dragon Age Origins. In Dragon Age Origins,
Well, I mean,
it
Monkey,
consists of, like... Go ahead.
No, because Monkey, take it into this perspective. In Origins, 3 people take the joining that you know of. Only one of them survives. Take that into perspective.
Yeah, well, one of them dies
Also-
because he's killed,
True. But
so we don't know if he would have survived.
Yeah.
he probably wouldn't have.
Based on how low his willpower was, I could say that he probably wouldn't.
So it's based on willpower.
Because I mean, that's what I'm guessing, but I don't know. I'm assuming it's from willpower, because I mean, the origin person, the warden has many reasons to want to survive the joining. For instance, Tiny, well, no, not spoiler. Okay, so the Dalish, Dalish elf. The Dalish elf origin has your character infected with the Darkspawn thing, and the only way to survive that is to become a Grey Warden. So if you don't want to die a slow, painful death, you want to become a Grey Warden. So that's kind of like, something to take control of, to consider.
All right.
So,
So-
and that's just one of the 6. Another one I can tell you is that the human noble is that someone betrayed your family, killed your entire family but you and your older brother, and so you're the last surviving member of your family. So I mean, that's also another reason to want to live, to take vengeance.
Fair enough. Makes sense.
So I'm gonna say your character has the most willpower, so you'd want to survive. The most will to survive, so I'm gonna say, that's probably something to do with it.
All right. So
But that's my guess.
there seems to be like you said, it's like what you believe in. So it seems to have a lot of a great
I mean,
place
that's
in
my
the
guess
game. Yeah, and guesses and stuff. Anyway, what's blood magic? Can you talked about it beforehand, but like, can you like develop on it?
Actually, Raven said that he can answer this, so I'm gonna let Raven answer it.
Well, I can only answer in the most basic of forms. I can tell you how it functions. So, in the world of Dragon Age, you need mana in order to use spells, and this mana connects you to a place called the Fade, which is essentially kind of like a plane of existence made of mana and where demons live. Blood magic, instead of
I mentioned the
using
Fade before.
yes, blood magic, instead of using mana in the Fade, uses blood for mana. And the reason it's so frowned upon and dangerous is because, one, it's very powerful and could do things incredible or extremely destructive, which takes place very heavily in Dragon Age 2, might I add. And the second reason is because you can use other people's blood for your spells, so you can basically cast a spell using somebody else and kill them in the process.
Nice. So
Also, it's mostly frowned upon because the Chantry doesn't like it, and like I said, they control like
The
all of the
majority of the world.
humans, like religion. So, I mean, all of the humans say, "Oh, the Chantry says it's bad. It's bad." So, I mean, think about it like that.
it's like necromancy
well.
in the Elder Scroll games, where like it's not people that it's not like permitted because the
Necromancy,
magic
but worse.
the Mages Guild doesn't like it.
It's a little bit more than just the Mages Guild doesn't like it, because it's also agreed upon by pretty much everyone.
Well, no, because the Mages Guild doesn't have influence in Skyrim, and in Skyrim, it's not illegal it's frowned upon, but it's not illegal to practice necromancy in the province of Skyrim.
The only difference is that in Dragon Age Origins, it is illegal.
Yeah, but it was an
It is
example.
illegal to do.
I know, I'm just saying,
in the Dragon Age.
no, the reason why it's illegal in Dragon Age is because everyone agrees that it's bad. Anyone who knows about magic knows that it's bad. You're basically turning a person into a walking time bomb if they get blood magic.
Yeah.
So like, the person
They're
will get
also much
possessed
more
by a demon.
susceptible to demons.
Also, yes, they're much more susceptible
Yeah.
to demons.
Yeah,
Right.
basically. 99% of the time, if you do blood magic, you're gonna be taken over by a demon.
Alright. So, next question is actually still related. It's a comparison that I'm trying to because like it's shown that the dwarves seem to be creating automatons or stuff like that. So are the dwarves from Dragon Age similar to the Dwemer Is from the Elder Scrolls universe?
I'm gonna say no. Because of the fact that there's still a lot of dwarves by number, but also that the fact that they're not technologically advanced as far as the humans.
But I'm talking like
The
lore
only
wise.
thing the dwarves have over the humans. Yeah, no, they're not. The only thing the dwarves have over the humans is the fact that they can create golems, which take souls of people to create. So by creating a golem, you're killing a person, essentially, in a way.
So they use dwarf souls or human souls?
Dwarf souls.
Dwarf souls, but I mean that's what's used. But I can kind of guess that they could also use human souls, because I mean that makes sense. Because you can't create something out of nothing. It's kind of the premise of a golem.
Yeah. But like, why would you want to sacrifice someone to make a golem? Like, beside the fact that they're strong and resistant, like what's the?
You also have complete control over
Okay,
them.
so that's yeah. And actually, it's important to say that at first, when the first golems were being created, the person who created the Anvil of the Void, Karadin, would only take volunteers. He would not force anybody to do it. The king of the dwarves was then at first forcing prisoners who were condemned to death to it, and then started doing it to nobles who opposed him, which then led to Karadin, basically closing off the Anvil of the Void to everybody else and sealing it away.
That's a good decision.
He tells you in the game, it took the hammer's blow to himself to realize what he had done.
So are there still golems like in existence? Because I'm assuming it's been sealed away for a while. Are there still like what's the lifespan of a golem? Are they still like present?
Theoretically, golems can live forever.
Golems are immortal.
All right. But then they're not created by magic.
Yeah. If they're not, yeah, no, they're.
Because usually golems are created via magical ways, but since dwarves are resistant to magic and can't use it,
not. There's also something, it's not just lore-wise that dwarves are resistant to magic. It's actually also said that there's also a hidden thing in the game itself, that if you're a dwarf, there's a 10% chance a magic spell will do nothing.
So that's really fucking OP then.
Like I said, 10% chance, and you can face a lot of mages. So I mean, it could be, but at the same time, it's not, because you don't have any chance to increase that. 10% throughout the entire game. So.
Hmm.
But I figured that'd be good
Whoa.
to tell.
Nice mic.
At the same time that you have.
Come here.
Well, I think that answered question 10, so let's move
Alright,
on to
next.
11.
What was that? Did you guys hear that noise?
Yeah, Karma's mic messed up for a minute, but then it went back to normal.
Weird.
Alright, what's question 11?
Question 11 is the combat system a downgrade?
Yeah, I wanted to ask you, a downgrade to what?
Well, it seemed like really simple.
It is. It's simple, but that's also the reason why I love it so much. I'm sure Raven can agree with me on that one.
No. I think it's fairly complicated, but I'm also not really a RTS type player. It's a lot like World of Warcraft to me.
I've never played World of Warcraft.
Basically, you have like active skills going on, especially, okay, it depends on what class you're playing, but you're mostly set to doing like a string of skills, and then you're just spamming those string of skills.
Yeah, that's what Dragon Age does it too. Especially in the end, because I do a lot of like that in the end of the game, where I would, spam the same skills over and over, because those are the best skills.
Thank you for the sub gift, Lord Head Monkey.
Probably it's a friend from work.
Oh.
That makes sense.
Well, now you're a Prime gamer and a Twitch subscriber. Congratulations. You didn't get a founder badge, though. Get fucked.
Because I think it was gifted, that's why.
Yeah.
Alright, so are we going on to the next question, or?
I mean, unless you had something else you
Yeah,
wanted to add, I still don't know what you're comparing it to downgrade to.
I mean, like, I don't know, like, looking at the combat system, it felt like, I don't know, like, overly simplistic.
I mean, compared to another RTS game, maybe, but compared to just any game in general, I'd say no.
Hmm. Alright.
Yeah.
How does a guy like Alistar go from Templar to Grey Warden? Because it feels like the two orders have like are like in an opposite position for some.
So, Karma, do you want to explain the entirety of the backstory of Alistair?
Or I know
So it's kind
Alistar
of explained
is
in the
like
video,
a
but
bastard son, but
Well, he was just a never very good
so
Templar.
Alistair's, yeah, he sucks as a Templar.
that
He's the
bad.
worst Templar in existence. Yes. Compared to the Templars you see in the games, he's considerably worse compared to them. My God.
Like
I'd rather,
he
as a for Templar, I'd rather take a different Templar than Alistair.
really.
If I wanted someone to cancel magic, I wouldn't use Alistair. Yeah. That's how bad he is as a Templar.
Thank you for the 5 gifted subs, myself. You're
Yeah.
welcome, myself.
I like that you gifted a sub to me and Karma because like
I just gifted random 5 subs and you guys got it, yeah.
two of the 5 subs went to the 2 of the hosts.
Yeah, I gotta subscribe myself, hang on.
Wow,
I
isn't
mean, I was gonna
subscribed.
do that, so.
There we go.
Oh, there you go.
Oh, now Show is gifting subs
Show's
too.
giving. There we go.
Thank you, Show!
Thank you, Show. We got a sub bomb
Okay,
going
you know
on
what?
here.
It's fine.
Selbor?
Oh, we got
Fine.
a hype train
Level
going on.
5
No.
hype train already?
We gotta. Let's. You know, it's fine. Let's just keep going.
I'll keep an eye on them. Hey, thank you for the bit, Show!
I do not have text to speech brought up because this is a
let's-
Twitch Studio beta. But thank you for the scam train. Let's go.
Oh, we don't have a TTS yet?
No, can't do TTFs on the platform I'm using to stream.
So we'll have to find a new platform then?
If we want to do TTS, yeah.
No.
Yeah.
I mean,
It's.
I think it's fine the way it is because we're a podcast.
We can discuss that at a later time.
yeah, well, it's not time right now. So,
Did that answer
Do
your
we-
question?
Let's continue.
alright.
So basically, Alistair
Also,
was a
he
terrible
kinda-
Templar.
Alistair was kind of like you. He got recruited by Duncan. So that's it. Duncan found him and said, "You can become a Grey Warden if you wish." Alistair jumped on that opportunity. He was like, "Yeah, I want to be a Grey Warden."
Sounds like a childish
that's kinda what happened.
motive.
Alistair was a very childish man.
Yeah, he felt like it too. Does he also suck
That's
as
actually
a-
one of the responses you can say when you first meet him.
Yeah.
So that's funny. It's
Even
funny,
as
when
like
you
you
first
best
meet him,
friends
you
with him,
say,
you can still call
"You're
him
a very
childish.
foolish man."
Yeah.
Yeah, he's just like, "Yeah, I know." And he just accepts it, and it's just like, man up, bro.
And it's like, man up, bro, says the girliest of the 3 of us.
It's but that kind of did that answer your question?
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
So, do we know what happens if because one of the way you kill an argument, from what I understand, is sacrificing yourself to take in the power of said demon.
Yes.
Of the
So,
archdemon.
Um,
That's how it dies.
how does like we know that more one of the alternate ways to do it is to transfer to Morgan's child. But like, what do we know what that will do to her child?
So in
Not
Dragon Age
current-
Origins, no.
Yeah, in Origins, no. But
Are you ready for some spoilers? I'll promise they'll
Raven
be
says
very
it.
small. In the games, instead,
Um,
so when at the end of Dragon Age Origins, when you absorb the power, you are supposed to die. But when the baby absorbs it, the
Yes.
baby lives. And in Dragon Age 2, I don't think Morgan or the baby show up or come up at all. But in Dragon Age
Nope, they
3, depending on your choices, Dragon Age Inquisition, you can actually see the child as a like 6-year-old or some shit like that, I think. And basically, all that is said is that they haven't shown any powers yet, but they are acting strange sometimes. And it's implied that they can talk to the dead, or people in the Fade at least. Which is not normally something you can do.
And so it's kind of pointing towards the child
Yeah.
being a mage of some sort.
A very powerful mage, like the power of an archdemon. Literally.
So he might come up in a later game then.
Yes.
well, an old god.
An old
The
god,
power of an old god,
archdemon,
to be more
whatever.
precise, because an archdemon comes from an archdemon is a corrupted old god.
Still, yes, he might be a god.
He's a human god. But yeah,
Alright. So, do we have something else to say about this, or are we moving on?
I don't want to spoil anything, so I think we should move on.
let's move on.
What's your opinion on all
Yeah,
of the DLCs?
but I haven't gotten to that part yet. Okay, so I haven't played them all yet because right now I've only played the free one, which is Stone Prisoner, which is very short and only adds one party member and 2 quests. But from what I've read, I want to say personally my favorite might be Darkspawn Chronicles.
Darkspawn
I haven't played it,
Chronicles
so
is the one where you become a demon, is that correct?
Yes. Darkspawn Chronicles is Plasma. There's actually 2 expansions, Awakening and Witch Hunt. So
There's also Liliana's Song, I know.
that's like Darkspawn Chronicles.
Is it?
It's related but separate. Yeah.
Okay, here's the campaigns. There's A Tale of Orzammar, The Darkspawn Chronicles, Liliana's Song, The Golems of Amarok, and Witch Hunt. I have played...
There's also Awakening.
I don't see Awakening on here.
Awakening's considered a DLC, Bo.
Okay. There's also Awakening.
But
I don't
it's
know
kind of
what
like
it is.
an add-on of the... Awakening's an add-on of the main story.
Okay.
Kind of like Witch Hunt. But it takes place later, because you're called the Warden Commander instead of just the Warden. So, I mean, it's implied that time skip takes place.
I'm gonna
Because-
re-download Dragon Age Origins, by the way, after
Nope.
the stream.
Yeah.
I
but
can finish
anyway,
it, and I can answer your question at a later date.
Yeah, I'll have to play them first before I can answer the question. At the moment, I have no way of playing them.
Either way, expansion, DLC, campaign, who cares what you call it. I have played Liliana's Song, which is a prequel all about one of the companions, Liliana. It's okay. It's fine.
Yep.
The other one I've played is a little bit of the Darkspawn Chronicles. On PC, it is extremely buggy, and I soft-locked about 5 times, so I didn't finish it.
Wow. I'm
So
gonna
that's
play
my
on
answer.
console, so
I have not played A Tale of Orzammar, The Golems of Amarok, The Witch Hunt, or The Awakening yet.
the ones that are important to the story that actually have that actually impact the story are Awakening, Witch Hunt, Soldier's Peak, and Stone Prisoner. So if you want to just focus on like the story parts and nothing else, those are the 4 that you want.
Alright. So anything else to add?
Yeah. Dragon Age Origins is a great game. I highly recommend you play it on console, not on PC, because on PC it is very buggy.
Was
I've
it
only played
made
on
for
console,
PC?
so
Haha, you'd think. I have no idea.
actually, it was made mostly for console, but it does have a PC port. But it's highly suggested you play on console.
That's rare because most gamers suggested to play on PC because they usually run better.
And to be fair, this game does have mods and things that make the game better, but it's also incredibly buggy, and I softlock constantly. That's the reason I stopped playing Dragon Age Origins, didn't finish it, was because I kept softlocking and I just said fuck it and stopped playing.
Yeah, it's a great game, and it sucks that you can soft lock because it never happened to me.
No, what's great is
I
you
had
can
my- I
soft
had my
lock.
pawn for
You can soft lock in this game, and you can fix it. Only during certain parts of the game can you fix it, though. Like,
because I had my console on for like 3 weeks straight playing all of Origins, and I never had it soft lock, nor even freeze.
yeah, the earliest soft lock I can remember is doing the Noble Dwarf campaign. I forget if you either have VSync on or off. It's one of them. The person who's supposed to walk up to your cell and talk to you just won't move. So
Yeah.
you just can't initiate dialogue, so you're just trapped in a cell naked with nothing to do.
Nice.
And my latest soft lock,
Wow.
very similar case, I get put in a cell during the lands meet, and no one comes up to me or talks to me or does their scripts, so I'm just trapped in a cell naked and can't do anything. And that's where I just gave up, because I just said fuck
You know,
it.
there's actually, you know, Raven, there's a way that you don't get put in the cell.
Yeah, I know, but I don't want to do it that way. I want to get put in the cell because it's a great scene with a lot of like comedy, and I really wanted to watch it.
Raven, you could just say that
Okay, I just wanted to let you know that
into
you don't-
BDSM.
I'm not, but being naked in a cage, buddy, I love getting soft locked. Let me tell you. I also love
We
getting
all get
hard
that.
locked whenever I'm playing the fucking game and going to the major city. By the way, and the game crashes on me every time I go
Hard
close
lock.
to one
You
of the
get locked in
shops.
the cage, but you already have a hard on.
No, a hard lock is when the game freezes and you
Nice.
can't even move your character or anything. A soft lock is where you
Yeah,
can't
I would not
progress the
play
game at all.
Inquisition on console.
I have not played Inquisition. I own it on Steam. I want to play it, but I want to finish Origins and 2 first. I bought all 3 of them as part of a package like 2 years ago, or like not even a year ago actually. It was only like 4 months ago, and I just never got around to playing it because of all the bugs in Origins.
Yeah, I have Inquisition for console, and it constantly freezes after like 3 hours of gameplay.
Okay, you're playing on PS3 though, aren't you?
I am.
Yeah, that's why. Do you have an original PS3?
Suck it.
So I mean it.
No, it's not the PlayStation sucks. It's just that after a while, a game's life expectancy can't go on, or the console's life expectancy can't go on any further. I'm not starting a console war with you.
It works. No, I 100% agree. My Wii that I've had forever, just it doesn't play games anymore.
You probably just gotta clean it and
freezes all the
refurbish
time.
it.
Dude,
No, I've
my
tried
aunt
cleaning it too.
owns a
It just
Nintendo
just
64
doesn't
and it
load
still
games.
fucking runs.
Yeah, modern consoles aren't really made for it though.
My Xbox 360 still runs fine. I don't know what you two
But
fuckers
anyway.
do to your consoles, but like I've played on my Wii for like 7-8 years, and I've played on Xbox 360 for a fucking while also, and it both ran fine.
Oh, this guy. I play on my Xbox 360 and it didn't crap
look at
out on
this
me
guy.
even once. Yeah, fucking right, liar. The Xbox 360, the original... Okay, are you talking about the original Xbox 360 or are you talking about one of the re-releases? Is it like the Series X or like the Slim or some other bullshit? Or is it just a 360? Okay,
Original.
bullshit, I do not believe you. 100% you are lying to me.
Dude, my Xbox 360 never once crashed.
My Xbox One never red ringed, but it crashed and broke on me multiple times.
Well,
it destroyed
well,
multiple
wait.
not PlayStation 3, Fallout 3 and Fallout New Vegas discs.
That correction, like it might have crashed, but I never had like major trouble with it. It still runs game fine to this day. I can still play games fine on it.
I put in
by Xbox.
I put in a PlayStation 3 game into a PS3 or an Xbox 360 game into an Xbox 360. I'm expecting that fucker to last for 6 hours tops. If you can play a game for longer than 6 hours on one of those systems, God send to you.
I've played Blades of Time like
Origins.
4 weeks ago on my Xbox 360 for about 8 hours.
You can play Dragon Age Origins for 24 hours and it won't do nothing.
Okay, to be fair,
Skyrim I get.
On my PlayStation 4, I have never had it crash on me. I mean, I've had games crash, but I've never had the console crash on me.
What Xbox 360 had like the...
For Skyrim, I expect...
The original Xbox 360, like the original, was prone to red ring of death. The later Xbox 360s had a tendency to freeze and then never turn back on. And also, occasionally, they would just... The, like, laser reader would just overheat or, like, break somehow, and it would just scratch the hell out of games. To the point where you couldn't read the disc anymore after, like, a minute of playing it.
I've never had any of those troubles with my...
I have had all 3 of them.
The only time I broke a disc is when I was an idiot and, like, picked up the console with a disc in it.
Like, do you mean, like, transporting it, like, unplugging it, or do you mean while it was running?
While it was running.
Okay, yeah, maybe that would work. Because I've transported discs before while the console's been off.
Peter fucking agrees with me. His Xbox 360 works as well to this day. Fuck yeah, Peter.
Was it ever refurbished?
Well, I don't know if mine was an original one, because I
yeah, yours doesn't sound like an original one. If it was an original Xbox, it probably would have red ringed of death at some point. Because the original Xboxes, like the launch Xboxes, were really bad.
The only reason why I would want an original Xbox is to play a Steel Battalion with the world's most complicated controller.
I have an original Xbox, but I had it modded, so it only plays arcade games.
So when you guys say original Xbox, do you mean like
The original
no 360
Xbox.
or no X or something like that?
Yes, the original Xbox,
Like
the one that
those
came
big
out in like
boxes?
2003.
I have one of the big boxes.
I have one too.
I had it on for 3 days straight and nothing happened to it. I was
Yo,
playing
while we're talking
Star
about
Wars
it,
Knights of the Old Republic for like 3 days straight.
have you ever used the original Xbox's Xbox controller? The big one?
No, I haven't.
Yes.
I've used
Yes.
both the big one and the small one. Bro. The big... What were they thinking with the big one? You can barely hold it in your hands.
Yeah, I know. They're so bad.
But the smaller versions are fine.
The controllers are just so bad. Not to mention their cords are so damn short. You gotta practically sit next to the TV.
Plasma, I do not have small girly hands. I have very big, clammy hands.
It's true. I've seen them.
Also, since we're talking about consoles really quick, let's just shit talk for a little bit. What's your guys' favorite console? Or handheld? I have my answer.
Favorite console is PS3. My favorite handheld device would have to be my 3DS. 2DS. Sorry, 2DS.
Ew, 2DS. I had one of those. They suck.
Now you
They're
don't
actually
know if
pretty
you
good,
owned an
but-
original fat DS.
I have one sitting right next to me.
I had one as a kid, but I broke it.
I broke it as well.
I have
So,
Okay.
2 DS Lite.
Monkey, are you a WWE kid? I'm gonna take that as a no. The way I broke my original DS was playing SmackDown vs. Raw 2009 on it, or 2008, one of them.
Oh my god, that game was fucking nightmarish.
I used to own like a 3DS XL.
I played Binding of Isaac on 3DS XL.
And
God.
like at some point I broke it so bad that like I was playing like Mario Sonic at the Olympic Games, and like the top part of the screen was all like white with a black bar in it.
Oh,
I
wow.
could only play the sports that were on the bottom screen.
Yeah, I'm with Plasma Peter. My favorite handheld is currently the Switch, and my console of choice is the PlayStation 2.
Technically, my only handheld is my phone. So
Okay, hold on. Let me ask you this, Raven. Is the Switch considered handheld or a console?
It's considered a handheld.
but it can
Really?
be both.
I've always
technically.
considered it a hybrid.
You can consider
Yeah.
it a hybrid, but I have a
Hybrid.
Light, which is strictly a handheld. You know the Nintendo Switch Lite?
I mean,
That really piece of shit that fucking sucks and can't play Mario Party? Yeah, I have one of those.
Sounds like you have your personal troubles with it.
I want to play Mario Party, but I can't. It's
Poor
okay.
Will Raven can't play Mario Party.
I can't. I want to play Mario Party with my friends, and I don't have any friends who have Mario Party, nor do I have a fucking Switch that plays Mario Party. I actually originally had a normal Switch, but I traded it in for a Switch Lite because I was a fucking idiot. Because I'm like,
Why did you do
I was, okay,
So if
I
if I'm
really
gonna get a
needed the
Switch,
money.
Don't buy the Lite.
Yeah, if you're getting a Switch, don't buy the Lite. I really needed money at the time, so I sold my original Switch, and then like 6 months later, I'm like, I want a Switch, but I don't want to pay full price for the Switch, so I got a refurbished Switch Lite, which was like $100 cheaper.
Alright, so
Damn. But anyway,
who are we rating?
There's Honey Goblin we could raid.
no
There's
one I follow is live.
I follow a really small person. I've never actually watched their stuff before, but they only have 3 viewers. You want to raid them?
Sure.
I found them
have
on
something
Tinder.
prepared.
We're pretty small. Let's
Guys,
do it.
Please raid with this message.
Small person.
Yes,
Small
nag
person
hands
raiding
up,
a small
NTR
person.
raid.
So-
NTR raid, nag hands up. NTR raid, nag hands up. NTR raid, NTR raid, nag hands up.
I don't know why I did that. But use that anyway.
No way, it's fine.
Okay, slash raid,
complex.
their name is
Yeah,
Oatmeal Raise
Listen-
Madsen.
Listen up, Peter. You're gonna fucking use a TR rate, or I'm gonna take away your.
Yeah, I mean, that's funny. I mean, raiding a small person with a small person. That's just comical.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Alright, let's do the NTR raid. Everyone,
NTR raid.
just so you know, I found this person through Tinder. So there's their
Oh,
full
okay.
transparency. That's how I know
Okay.
them. Also, Peter,
Okay.
that's fucking weird,
This is
champ.
fun.
So, everyone, I hope you had a good episode of the NTR podcast. Enjoy, use NTR raid. We love you. Have a sweet kiss on the lips. Good night.
Well, okay, you love them. I don't. I mean, they're just viewers to me. Do you think